Hi, welcome. If it's your first time here, my name is Jess. You've reached the channel of transformation. This week's episode will be a little bit different. I won't be thrifting, I won't be upcycling thrift store finds, but I will be transforming some food right from the grocery store to make lunchbox treats for my kids. We like them to pack so that we know that they're getting nutritious meals, and we like to do it on a budget. So come to the kitchen with me and see what we can make for their lunches.
The first recipe we're going to work on is homemade granola. Landon especially likes to take yogurt and granola in his lunch. Sometimes they'll have it as cereal with fresh fruit and almond milk. First, we'll use 2.5 cups of rolled oats and then 2.5 cups of quick oats. We'll combine these dry ingredients in a large stainless steel mixing bowl. Then we'll add 2 cups of Rice Krispies and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Mix those dry ingredients well. For the wet ingredients, we'll use a saucepan over medium heat on the stove. Oh, I almost forgot. This is not in the original recipe, but I do like to add a cup of coconut flakes. All of the recipes from today's episode will be listed in the description box if you'd like to try to make them for yourself. In the saucepan, we'll add 1/4 cup of water, 3/4 cup of olive oil, 1/2 cup of honey, and I like to use the olive oil measuring cup. It helps the honey to come out smoothly and not stick to the sides. We'll add 2/3 cup of peanut butter, I measured with my heart just a little bit because we like extra peanut butter. A 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. This is just clear white vanilla that I had in a gallon jug and I put in a smaller container so that it's easier to work with. You'll use 1 teaspoon of maple flavoring, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and you'll stir that over medium heat. You want to keep a good eye on it. You want everything to be mixed well together, but you do not want it to come to a rolling boil. The first sign of bubbles, I turn the heat off and remove it from the stove. I pour it over top of the dry mixture and mix well. My whole kitchen smelled amazing. Your oven should be preheated at 300 degrees. After everything is well incorporated and mixed together, I spread it out on a cookie sheet. Did spray a little bit of nonstick spray. I used avocado oil spray to the bottom of this pan. And then into the oven it goes. After 15 minutes, I like to stir all of the granola, and then I let it cook for another 15 minutes. Here we have it on top of yogurt, and we drizzle it with a little bit of honey. Next, we're going to make cheeseburger soup. This is something that they will take in their lunch in a hot thermos, like this one. Put a little bit of olive oil on the pan, and here I'm using venison, but regular ground beef works just fine. You'll dice your onion. And you'll add that to your pot with a little bit of olive oil again. Saute them with the other vegetables until they're nice and tender. I'm using 3 smaller sized carrots. I'll use the vegetable peeler to take the skin off the outside. And then you can cut your carrots however you prefer. If you'd like them julienned or if you like them sliced or diced. Here I chose to get a grater and grate them finely. I would normally add celery to this recipe as well, but I didn't have any on hand, and it tastes just fine without it. But I often like to bulk it up with vegetables if I can. And I'll have to tell you, I am a very messy cook. Here, this is just for my family, just in our house. So, we can be ourselves. But as a child, my grandmother nicknamed me Messy Jessie. Everything I do, to the core, is just done messily. Is that even a word? If I paint, I have paint all over my hands, all over my clothes. When I clean, it always seems to get worse before it gets better. When I cook, my whole kitchen is a mess, but I always clean it up. And to that venison, I added salt, pepper, and garlic to taste. We'll peel our potatoes. I like to use the yellow potatoes for this recipe because they tend to thicken up the soup a little bit. As they cook and get super soft, sometimes they'll fall apart a bit. And so it makes this soup a little bit more thick and a little bit more like a chowder. We'll keep an eye on those vegetables that are sauteing so that they don't burn. I have it over a medium-high heat. Then I wash the potatoes and I'm dicing them up, and then we'll add them to our soup in just a bit. After the vegetables are nice and tender, I added a whole container of chicken stock. And then we'll add our potatoes. And our ground meat. We'll give that a stir and we'll let that cook until the potatoes are tender. While it's cooking, I got my cheese and my thickening substance ready. I used 2 tablespoons of flour and I mixed that into cold milk so that it wouldn't clump. And I used half of a small block of Velveeta cheese. I cubed all of the cheese up and had that ready to go into the soup. And I am cooking some venison for another meal there, so I promise I dumped it in. And the potatoes are good to go, so we'll add our Velveeta cheese. And like I said, it was a half of the small block of Velveeta. And we want that all to melt before we add our thickening sauce. here it is all melted. So we'll add that thickener and let that simmer until the soup is nice and thick like a chowder. This is one of our family's favorite soups, and it's such a comfort food. I like to top it with some fresh shredded cheddar and a little bit of bacon. And it was so delicious. Another one of their favorite Lunchbox snacks are seasoned pretzels. So I dumped 2 bags of Tom Sturge's pretzels into the bowl. And here I'm using a cup of the canola oil, 1 pack of ranch dressing mix, and then a teaspoon each of garlic salt, dill weed, and lemon pepper. We actually had these on the hors d'oeuvres table at my daughter's wedding. They were absolutely wonderful. And you mix that till it's well incorporated and dump them over the pretzels. And you can try to use a spoon here to stir everything together, but honestly, using your clean hands works the best. You want those pretzels to be very well coated, and a lot of times the oil falls to the bottom of the bowl, and you want to make sure you're able to scoop all that up and out so that the pretzels are super coated. Here I'm just spreading them on a baking sheet, and they are going in the oven. After they're done, we take them out and let them cool. And then I store them in an airtight container to keep them nice and fresh. And honestly, I recorded this video last week and these pretzels are gone already. And guys, I have to be honest, I thought I was recording myself making these triple chocolate protein banana muffins. The whole time the camera was not even on. So I will put the recipe below in the description box for you. Now we're going to move on to a protein bar made from peanut butter and honey. We'll start out with 3 cups of quick oats, 3 cups of Rice Krispies, 1 teaspoon of salt, I use 4 scoops of our protein powder. We use this Orgain chocolate protein powder. This is also the protein powder that I used in the high protein banana muffins. This works great with any kind of protein powder or any flavor. We've had it with the vanilla before too, and it's great. And here I am mixing a cup of honey with 2 cups of peanut butter. We'll stir that so that it's well incorporated. Pour it over the dry mixture, and again, this is just a recipe that works better with clean hands. So I mix and squeeze and almost knead it like bread until everything is well combined. And then I press it into a container that has an airtight lid. Cut it into bars, and they have a perfect snack for breakfast or to take in their lunches. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode where we transform food into healthy lunchbox treats. I really appreciate you guys being here. Can I please ask you to give me a thumbs up, share this episode with a friend, and subscribe to my channel so you do not miss an episode. It really means a lot and helps support our channel. I hope you guys have a great day. See you next week.